One. There we go. Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm excited today. I hope you have gotten the invitation and you're going to join us live. Look at who's with me. Alex Anderson.
Yay!
Now, I know everybody in the group knows Alex, but if by some chance you don't, Alex is a world-renowned quilting expert. She quilts. She is the host of numerous broadcasts featuring quilting advice. She is an author of over 30. Is it over 30?
I don't know. I can't believe that either.
Quilting books. And Alex has her own broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. And today she's going to tell us how she started in the quilting industry. Hi, Alex.
First of all, Linda, thank you so much for inviting me to be with your group. What a pleasure. I just absolutely love quilters, you know?
Yeah.
I keep them. So I honestly started quilting when I was in college. Okay. So, 2 years ago or whatever. No, I found out I was a unit short to graduate 1 month before graduation. And fortunately, it was at San Francisco State. Fortunately, in the art department, there was a weaving area. And so they respected textiles, and when I found out I was a unit short, I went and I said, "Hey, listen, my grandma started a quilt in the 30s, a grandma's flower garden. If I finish it, will you give me a unit?" And she said yes. And I was with Lynn. Yeah, she said yes. I had 1 month. Okay. So grandma was super happy to send it off, right? And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have a big old bed. I think I ended up with something the size of a bath mat on a good day. But before we got started, I went and I grabbed this. I think this is really fun. This is the
Yes, we see her.
There she is, Grandma Telfer. And so that's this is me. All right.
Okay.
And then this is my sister. But so I was stitching as a little girl.
Oh
I
my.
mean, think about it. And then my grandma, my dad's mom, wanted to teach me knitting. Forget it. Just forget it. But here I am. You guys will love this. Threading a needle as a little girl. Oh, here comes my cat. Threading a needle as a little girl. So I have been sewing forever. And in fact, for 8th grade graduation, I got a sewing machine.
Oh my goodness.
My mom did not sew.
Well, were you quilting by hand or machine?
In the case of the first one, it was all by hand.
Okay.
1 month. Linda, I had basically 3 weeks to finish this thing. And that's why it ended up being small and not full size. But I got my unit, And yeah, and I got bit by the whole thing. Completely got bit. So, and the interesting thing is after I graduated, I was going back to San Francisco to a school of Aubusson French tapestry weaving. And then I would take the bus home. And sorry about that.
It's okay.
On mute, right? I would take the bus home and quilt at the quilt frame. So I really found something in quilting. It was, and I learned about it because I had done a paper in a semester prior. And so I learned about it. I knew nothing about quilting. And there was just something about working with fabric. Oh, one other thing. Before I went to that school, I was going to Chico. And this was 100 years ago. Okay. We had to drive up Highway 5, and there was a place called the Nut Tree. and it was a kind of a pit stop on Highway 5, but they had a really great restaurant and they would display art of people. And I remember walking in, I was probably 19 years old, and there the hall, the gallery was lined with Fiber by Jean Ray Laurie. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
No.
People need to look her up, okay? And it was,
Okay.
and I'm like going, and it was felt and it was applique. And I'm like going, oh my gosh, this is being considered art. And it was fiber, you know?
Yes.
So it's funny. I think everybody is influenced in different ways, but the common line is even if you're a quilter or not a quilter, everybody has a quilt in their life one way or another. Don't you think?
I think so. I think so. Especially with grandmothers and mothers who sewed or quilted.
My grandma did. Both grandmas quilted. Now, did your mom quilt or your grandma that you know?
You know, my mom was a school teacher. She taught for 46 years, never missed a day.
Oh,
And she had little Whitman's chocolate candy boxes that had squares in them, but she never dealt with them until she retired. My mom was a master quilter. Oh my goodness, when her friends would retire, she'd make them life quilts. She made my
oh,
sister a life quilt. And in my sister's life quilt is from his tie up is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was a friend of my mom's. And
uh-huh.
each little tiny, my mom had little tiny, just pieces of yarn that she stitched each one to create his hair. I mean, she was an amazing quilter.
So do you have that piece?
No, she made it for my sister.
Oh, well, is it still around? Please?
My sister has it. She, when she got ready to make my life quilt, I rejected it. Yes, I said I don't want a life quilt. I hadn't lived my life. So she made me a tree.
For a tree of life?
She made me a tree, and the tree is little triangles. The
Okay.
trunk, the trunk, she has embroidered the lines and things in it to make it look like bark. I'll show it to you one day.
I would love if you could, you've got my email address. I would love a picture of that.
I will. I'll send it to you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I think we all come at it differently. And I'll tell you one thing I know to be sure. Back in the day, everybody was like, well, you have to be an art quilter, or you have to be this, or you have to be that. And in my old crotchety age, you don't have to be anything. You just have to make. You just have to make and understand what people make comes from their heart. And what's better than from your heart to your hands? Nothing.
That's right. And that's one thing you have definitely taught us.
Oh,
And you have taught us that quilting by hand is okay. Quilting by machine is okay. Whatever we do is our beautiful quilt. And I thank you for the encouragement.
I thank you that you heard that message. Listen, I want everybody to know that Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 10 o'clock Pacific time, okay, Pacific, I'm
Okay.
on Facebook and I'm on YouTube's and I'm doing live, basically half-hour shows. And I've been doing it since the start of the pandemic. And right now we do projects. Right now we're working on improv. We'll be doing a cave quilt in a little bit. And this all comes from the place called thequiltshow.com that I've been doing now for, look at my cat. My cat, can you just appreciate my cat for 1 minute?
Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Yes. I've been doing stuff online since '07. We have a show called thequiltshow.com. Are you a member of that, Linda?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And
Okay. And
tell us the name of your YouTube channel.
I don't know. I think just go in Alex Anderson Quilter.
Now,
Hey, Linda, I'm the talent. I'm not the brains behind it.
is it Quilt Show or the Quilting Show?
Yeah, well, thequiltshow.com, if you go there, it will link you through to my lives too. And
Okay.
if you can't be there, like you were mentioning here, that a lot of people are going to be watching this after the fact.
Yes.
The same thing with that too. You don't have to be there live at 10 because everybody has a life nowadays, and then you can just go catch up. So actually, tomorrow I'm interviewing Priscilla Bianchi, who's from Guatemala, which is really fun.
Okay. All right. Now,
Yeah.
everybody, as soon as this broadcast ends, go to YouTube. Just go to Google and Google Alex Anderson
Yeah.
or the Quilt Show.
Yes. I call it Dr. Google.
Yes. Yes.
Sullivan.
Oh, Alex, you are such an amazing quilter. I have learned so much from you, and you'll never know how this has affected my life. I thank you and appreciate you
Bless you. Bless you.
and me.
From my heart.
Yes, I have my thimbles and everything from your classes. You make me spend money.
Hey, hey, that's not my fault. In fact, in my beginning book, in my start quilting book, I say something like that. It's like, hey, it's not my fault.
Well, I know that I asked you to join us just for a brief time. Thank you for telling us how you got into quilting. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Linda. Have fun today, okay?
All right. And everybody, don't forget, subscribe to Alex's YouTube channels and follow her on Facebook.
I can't wait to meet you in person.
I can't wait to meet you either.
Okay, darling. Now, do you like let me out of here? Or how does that work?
Yes. Wait just a second. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Day.